Yes,
Hey,
yes,
what's
yes,
up,
yes.
guys? What's up? Welcome to
Hey.
Affinity Black Network. My name is Michelle, and I'll be your host for tonight. Right? Um, Tonight we have a panel of men. Okay, mainly men. We're gonna go around, and you guys will introduce yourself. Let's start off with the one on top, in between myself and the other host, Carla. What's your name?
My name is Monk. I am from this FM podcast and Ecstasy Band, and I'm here to have a good time. Not for a long time, but I'm here to have a good time.
Top five, dead or
Welcome.
alive, right?
Top five that are alive.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to the one underneath Carla. What's your name? Present yourself.
What's going on? My name is Simon. It's spelled with the X. That's my alias. Um, what was the other question? What I do? I'm also a co-host of this effing podcast. We have the network, this effing network. You know, I wear multiple hats: engineer, producer, it's a lot of things.
Okay.
Nice.
It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on. And now, last but not least, Señorito with the white shirt. What's your name and what
Actually,
podcast are you from?
I fool you. Sorry, it's not you.
It's, it looks white from over here. But what's your name and what podcast are you from?
My name is Arlo, and I'm a part of To the Left podcast. Uh,
Okay.
Yeah.
but yeah,
Welcome, Arlo. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you
So,
for
our
coming
female audience has some questions and concerns. So, these great men here will be giving us some answers to these questions. First, I wanted to start off the conversation with Sigmund Freud, who is a psychologist. So, psychologists, they study human behavior.
Mm.
So he stated that people select love interests that reminds them of their mother or father. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Let's start off with the monk. What do you think about that?
For me, me personally, I feel like I couldn't do it just because if in a relationship you don't want to constantly hold your significant other to the standards of your mother or your father, and every time that you feel like they're gonna like they can't exceed or make the standards of your parents, you're gonna feel like they failed you. So you're never gonna be able to be happy because a parent's love is different from anybody else's love. So when you constantly trying to look for that in somebody else, you'll never be satisfied. So you can't. Me personally, I'm good. I'd rather just have them do what they can do for me and let my parents do what they could do for me. It would be two different entities for the most part.
Okay, I understand. So let me ask you this. The way we grow up, right, is certain things that are just embedded in us. So, culturally, right,
Mhm.
you're used to most men are used to a more traditional woman, a woman that can cook, a woman that can go to work, a woman that's more nurturing. So that's just embedded in most of Garifuna men, right?
Mhm.
So none of those things is like a must for you to have in your woman.
No, because I could hold my own as well. So for the way I look at it is, if she could cook, I could do the same thing. You know what I mean? If
Okay.
she's nurturing, I could do the same thing. So when Garifuna man is only looking for those values in a woman,
Yes.
it's just like once the woman is out the picture, what could you do for self? So I'd rather just it gotta be 50-50. I could be able to do for her like as much as she could be able to do for me. So
So it will be okay if she didn't exhibit any of those qualities.
yes and no. Yes
no.
and
Let me
no.
ask, can I ask you a question?
Explain.
Let me ask a question. What qualities are important to you?
I think the most important quality for me is just being able to connect on a mental and physical is always everything, but being able to connect on a mental and spiritual level is most important, and everything else follows. Like if we could be able
Okay.
to mentally be together on some shit like, all right, this is what we want to do in the next year or so, and we could tackle all those goals, then that's fine with me. Like if we're able to be on some shit like, I want to get a house within a year or two. And she's like, I'm with that, and we're both grinding to that goal. That's fine with me. And you could get anybody that could cook, anybody that could clean. That's shit.
That's
Men is
true.
going, you know what I mean? So for me, I'm just like, cooking is cool, but if I could do the shit and we could be able to still meet our goals together, then I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay, but is that something that you saw at home?
Yes, because my father, God bless his soul, and God bless my mom's soul as well. My father used to be a and I'm gonna keep it a buck. My father was a stay-at-home dad. So when my mom used to go to work, he'll make sure by the time she come back home, food is done, kitchen is clean, house is clean, make sure
That's
the kids is in school. So,
that's
and Arlo can attest to that because that's my god brother. So he knows like how my father was, you
that's
know.
his,
Okay, so
And
that's
Simon is
some.
my first cousin, so he knows as well.
So Sigmund Freud, he says that we kind of gravitate towards something that we know, something familiar. So that's something that was just my point. Like, that's something that you saw at home. So that's why you kind of gravitate towards someone that's probably more goal oriented because your mom was goal oriented.
Yeah, she always had to make sure we imagine it. On top of that, it was 5 boys, 1 girl, plus taking care of all those sometimes. So it was like 7 boys, 1 girl. So it was a lot. I mean, 6 boys, 1 girl. So it was a lot for the most part. And she
Okay.
made sure that everything was grounded and orientated, you know.
So I noticed earlier that Simon did agree with some of the things that you said. So Simon, tell me a little bit more of what you think and how you can relate or not relate to this topic.
I mean, for those that do know my parents, there are two completely opposite sides of the spectrum. My father is a very, traditional, strict Garifuna man, and my mother's she's, I wouldn't say become westernized, but she's learned to adapt to the American culture. So I would like to the way I put it is my mother's a bit more independent. Yes, she does the same things that you described before, cooking, cleaning, making sure everything is taken care of. But being that, I connect more with my mother, I've learned to inherit that from her. So I wouldn't necessarily say I need those things from a woman. I think it's just more so being connected spiritually and emotionally with a woman. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily look for things that are qualities that are,
Materialistic.
in my mother, I guess, but just being there to emotionally be there and connect with me on a deeper level than just, anything physical or anything
Like throwing you ass.
yeah, basically. I'm not even gonna lie, basically. I ain't want to put it that way, but basically.
Does your
No,
did
not
your
tonight.
mom did your mom and your dad have that type of connection while you did you see that connection between those two when you grew up?
Spiritual and emotional and mental connection? Absolutely
Yes.
not. Absolutely not.
No.
No.
Okay.
So I learned from their mistakes is basically what I'm trying to. Yeah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I honestly, I don't even remember the last time they hugged each other, they kissed. You know what I mean? Like no affection in the household, but you know what I mean? I guess you learn from that. As a child, you learn from that. You kind of like, well, me personally, I learned from that and learn to be a bit more affectionate, tell people that I love them and tell people, show them that I do appreciate them on a
That's a
day-to-day
fact.
basis.
Okay, I understand. How about yourself, Arlo? How do you relate? Do you find yourself like looking for women that exhibit qualities that your mom did or did not have?
it's 50-50 for me.
Okay, why is that?
Uh, Based on the dynamic between my mother and my father, right? So, like I said, my father was a merchant marine, so my father was always at sea. So
Mhm.
my mother had to be mom and dad,
Yeah,
right?
that's a fact.
Dad could be too much, and she doesn't understand how to turn back into mom, right? So I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I don't want this shit, right? And that's just my mind. Like I don't. This is not what I need. Like I understand if you have to switch and you have to balance yourself out, but understand how to balance yourself out. So on that part, no, I don't want that part of the woman. But when it comes to the hardworking and understanding that I'm gonna go get it man here or not, that aspect of a woman is something that matters to me a lot. Because not only did I see that with my mom, I see it with my godmother. I seen it with Simon's mother. We were raised around women that are gonna go get it regardless, man there or not.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always by one of my aunts, and one of my aunts, she's a hustler. My aunt, Matia Siapa, never worked a day in her life.
Shout out to Tieso Yepa, by the way. Yeah, she's a solid one.
Yeah.
You could never say she's never broke. When I'm telling you hustled and bustled, hustled. And I'm see that. I need that in a woman. And I learned to understand that the little that our fathers did for them mattered to them a lot because of the hustle that they put in to get it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or like just overlooked it. So it was like, oh, thank you. All right, now you see they get a little tap kiss. But besides just affection, that's another thing. I think what's hard for them to balance out the fact that they had to step up as women to just give this man all of affection when they feel like I'm doing everything. So, like I said, it's 50-50 for me.
Okay.
That's an interesting way of seeing it too. I never thought, because your mom was definitely like where Padrino was out, he would be
Right.
gone for like about 8 months to 9 months out the year, pull up for like about 2 to 3 months, and then the
Gone.
majority is on her. So I definitely understand where you're coming from on that.
That's why I was always at the crib.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I understand all of you point of views, and okay, so we're gonna move on to another question that I have for you guys. Based on our upbringings, right? Do you guys think that you guys have some non-negotiable expectations of a woman?
That's a good question.
Yes.
Simon, would you like to start that?
I'm still thinking about it. I ain't gonna lie. Just 'cause
Question.
it's hard because I'm the type of person that can adapt to a person. You know what I mean? Like if there's something that's really all right, so I guess the answer is no. I don't think I have anything that's non-negotiable that like I cannot just adapt to. If it's obviously if it's something crazy like you don't brush your teeth in the morning, then you're sick. Like that's just wild. But like if it's something simple, it's something small, like you want to sleep on the side of the bed close to the wall. Okay, cool. Like even though that's my favorite side, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just I guess it's all in the name of love. If you're doing it for love, then I can adjust to it.
As far as
you be with like a flirtatious woman?
yeah, as far as personality and characteristics, would you be able to be with someone that's flirtatious, someone who dresses exposingly? Is that something?
No. I know
I
both.
can.
I know
I
both.
think I can. Honestly, feel like I can.
You're confident.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I gotta hear this.
To me, I've been through enough to know that if a woman loves me for me, then she's gonna love me, and if you don't, then I'm out of there. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's literally if it's all for love, then fine. If you're a flirty type of person, and I knew that going into the relationship, why am I gonna change when I'm in the relationship?
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: would you be with a woman that cheats?
Of course not. Why would I do? Why
I
would I
don't
do
think
that?
anybody wants to be with him.
Why would I do
I
that?
mean,
But you
some
never
men
really
come.
know though. Nobody
Some
knows.
some men, no, some people, not just men, but some people walk into a situation knowing that this person is promiscuous. Like they
See,
just
promiscuous is
out there.
different. Promiscuous is, I think that's slightly different from flirty.
See, the difference
Because I'm flirty.
the difference between women and men is that men will get you pregnant to hold you down. Women will try to change you.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it depends on the person too, though. Like
But a lot of these, like the way we grew up, because we basically grew up. She's been around, like you understand the dynamic of her, the way she swims around this ocean, right? She's not a part of a lake; she's a part of the ocean, and you was like, nah, bro, like she ain't like that, bro. We met her like, right? But so you end up getting her pregnant.
She's a tadpole trying to chase fish,
right? And you think that about to sit here, get her pregnant, and it's gonna change her? No, you just slowed her down for like about a year, I think.
and she's gonna be the same person even after she has the baby. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like how? Like, why would you do that?
Well, Arlo, going back to the question before, because you didn't get a chance to answer it, do you have some non-negotiable expectations of a woman that you will find as a potential?
My non-negotiables.
Yeah.
My non-negotiable is basically how can I put the whole permission. That's not for me.
Okay. She can't be flirtatious.
Flirtatious. The way
She can't be wearing stuff crazy.
The way you
No
dress.
butt cheeks out. No. Okay.
She got to wear a onesie when she goes to the club.
It's not even a onesie. It's the fact, like I said, I've always circled women that have been around my life. It doesn't hurt to be sexy. I mean, it doesn't like having sex appeal doesn't mean you have to be exposed.
That's a fact.
So
what does sex appeal look like for you? Like, what does that look like?
It's on how you understand your silhouette, but the way that you clothe yourself, it's not overexposing. It's still giving somebody something to look at without them thinking that they can just see everything through you.
Leaving something to the imagination, basically.
If I understand that my gift, if I understand that my bicycle is wrapped in wrapping paper, I know what that silhouette look like.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with that. I don't need half my bicycle wrapped, and I'm like, yo, I basically see the shit already. Why you wrapped it? So
now everybody else can see my gift.
Right.
I see what you mean.
Yo, round of applause for Arlo, man. Round of applause, man.
Yeah.
The problem with us is that me, my god brother, my cousin, our family dynamic is huge of women. Huge.
Mm-hmm.
So the men,
That's
us men, always been a tight niche. So we always have to be overprotective. Like, if I'm looking at you, bro, and you looking at me, make sure you watching behind me to make sure she good. I'm watching behind you to make sure she good.
Facts.
That's a fact.
So because
you know
because I'm overly protective of stuff and how I am with women and how I have to like make sure that you good and ain't nobody doing nothing stupid. Just dress appropriately because my anxiety.
Yeah, and we all suffer from that. All three of us.
It's gonna be through the roof.
I have a question. You mentioned that you guys are from like a large family of women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of women in your family. And oftentimes I hear these stories, I think I've experienced it myself, where men that have a lot of women in their families, they usually experience issues. The women that they date experience issues with the women in the men's family. Has that been a problem for you guys?
No.
I think I'm good. Because my girlfriend has a.
Let's take this a little further. Are you guys involved with anybody?
I am.
You don't have to answer that. I mean, I would like to know.
No, I'm not.
I am. Shout out to my baby Yanli over there in the room and shit, watching Law and Order. You know what I mean?
We loving you over here. And Arlo, in your past, whoever you brought around, has that ever been an issue?
No, because I was the one that barely brought anybody around.
Why? Is it because you knew that they was gonna have something to say about the person you brought around?
Nah, see, when I was so
I just want to know.
Arlo, let me take it away. Our family, because we're all from Limon.
Okay.
Like it takes a heart. Like my godmother, my mother, she would not just accept any female around. Like the same thing with my mom's. Like,
okay,
any female that comes around, they gotta make sure they pass that G test with them because they want to make sure that they sons is good. Mind you, Arlo is the only.
And what does that test? What does that test look like? Like, what is that?
¿Y quién es tu madre? ¿Quién es tu padre?
Oh God.
Right. ¿De qué parte? What town you from? What's
de
this?
parte
What's
de Honduras
that?
eres. ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá y tu papá?
That no, but it's more than that. They take it to another level though. They don't only ask those questions. they start seeing mannerisms, they start seeing certain things, and you'd be like, then they're gonna tell you like, yo, that girl ain't it, bro. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you a
Mhm.
question. Have you guys experienced a situation where maybe your girlfriend at the time felt a certain type of way because maybe a family member looked at her wrong or made a slight, like, remark or whatever?
Of
And then,
course, we got it.
okay,
That's
well,
about to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you comfort your girlfriend in a moment like that? Because she's definitely seeing something ain't right. How are
I,
you? How are you? Because you guys said that you guys protect
right,
and that you guys, are nurturing
right.
and
Mhm.
all of those great things. So how are you handling that?
So I mean, in my experience, I've only brought my girlfriend at the time around probably once or twice.
Why? Why once
Um,
or twice?
only because it takes a lot for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, because if I bring you around my family is extremely important to me, and if I bring you close to my family, that means you closer to being that much important to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna play around with that. So if I do bring you to my family and I see there's some type of rift or some type of differences, or like for instance, I had a cookout last year. I brought my I guess you could say my girlfriend at the time, and somebody, I don't remember who, but she was like why she's not mingling with everybody, and that's just her
Mhm.
personality. You know what I mean? Like
I
she needs to
remember that.
open up. She
And
needs
that,
to open up more.
and that's the thing
And
in our family. Sorry to cut to wisdom.
no, you good.
And you
But
pulled up with one of us,
mhm,
you better show there's a reason you here. Okay.
exactly.
For him to bring
Exactly.
around us and we don't play with him, we want to see your personality. We want to see you help. It's the little things that if you don't do, oh, it's a problem. Like,
Well,
why?
so how does a female know that you guys have expectations? I mean, that's like
Right?
a lot of pressure for a woman.
Because the thing about us, the thing about me, I could say this about me. I'm speaking to you as if I'm speaking to you, and you like, yo, what are you doing this weekend? 80% of the chance I'm with family. 80, 90% of the chance I'm with family. Like, I'm at my cousin's house. I'm at my aunt's house. I'm at my cousin's house. You know where I'm at. So as a woman, like, yo, this man is always with his family
Mhm.
Friday through, like, at any time he gets a chance, he's always with his family. I'm going to already let you know. You're going to already see how tight my family is, or how, like, this dynamic ain't nobody breaking. Like,
Yeah.
like this here is like, we not only watched each other grow up, but even though we grew up in different households, when we're together, we're not just cousins, we're brothers and sisters.
Mhm. That's how they raise us too. On top,
Right.
on some no
So,
funny
so
shit.
what I'm hearing here
So
is that you guys value what your
the
family thinks, like
family.
people
No,
you
I
get.
don't give a fuck about what none of these niggas think. Fuck that.
That's a lie. Let me tell you why
Her
that's a lie.
ass is fat. This is
The only thing
mine.
that,
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Fuck that. I don't give a fuck.
But okay, I have a question as far as like, bringing someone around your family and stuff like that. You have people that are introverts. So they're not going to come around your family and want to mingle comfortably around them because they're not familiar with who they are. It doesn't mean that, they don't want
So,
to,
not
but
to
they
cut you
just
off,
don't know
Michi,
how to.
as a man, or even if like when you're dating somebody, you got to make the uncomfortable be comfortable.
and
You
that's
know,
Michelle.
so
How?
like by for instance, like say for instance, like it's me and my girl. I'm not going to just keep her in the corner. We're going to mingle with everybody. Hey, let's take a shot. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's get conversation going.
Give her
Even if somebody was to say something offensive, now it's on some shit where I have to jump in like, yo, we're here together as family. I wouldn't bring her around you if she's not family.
Right.
You have to make the uncomfortable be as comfortable as possible for her and also for your family. I personally never been a person that gave a fuck about what my family thought because I was kind of like, how could I say, the outcast in a sense,
Mhm.
kind of. So it's just like, if you ain't give a fuck about what I had to feel, how I felt then, why the fuck should I care about how you feel now?
To add to the thing that he said earlier about family mingling, I think also is just the fact that if I bring somebody around, I'm gonna, if you don't look like you're taking initiative, I'm gonna push you to do something. Feel me? Like if we say we had a family gathering and you see that they setting up the table and you sitting next to me, yo, why don't you go help them set up the table? oh, you see that they serving food. Why don't you go help them serve the food? You know what I mean? Like, and if I have to tell you that, then it's already a bad sign for me. Because me personally, if you bring me around your father, you bring me around your mother, I'm gonna go to your mother and like say, like, let's say there's something like that going on. Where can I help? What can I do?
Help out, like
Exactly.
quick. It's in my nature. Like,
You need me to get the ice for the cookout? I'm going.
Really,
No,
the
for real.
easiest stuff, right?
The little things go a long way, man.
They do.
Real.
Wait, but like, let me ask you, what if that person wasn't raised that way?
That's what I was about to ask.
And you, oh,
Mm.
you were raised that way, but she wasn't raised that way. And so
Yeah.
it may not have seen that type of example, but she's still a good person.
So
Yeah, 'cause
that's where the opportunity where each one teach one comes in. If she wasn't raised that way, you have the opportunity to teach her certain things that she was never accustomed to. So then y'all could both have some type of vision of how a family structure should be. So if somebody is shy and they never saw a family value because let's say they had domestic violence in their house or whatever the case may be, you show them a different side and makes them feel comfortable and be like, all right, now I feel like I'm a part of something because I was never a part of something before.
Well, let's get a little deeper then. Simon, why are you single?
Why am I single? Because
Hold on, Simon. Can I hit you with the story time, bro?
I guess, yeah.
My fault. Go ahead, Simon.
There's a lot of reasons. I mean, I had a girlfriend who, it's funny because I literally I went to go visit her. She's my ex-girlfriend now. I went to go visit her, and it was a very emotional weekend, but whatever. For me, it was just an emotional weekend. But I mean, most of it comes from the fact that
Tell us
I'm
about the emotion. Let's
yeah. What
what happened?
damn, that's crazy.
What
Damn.
happened?
Yeah, I would like to know what happened. Please.
I think we
Nice,
all want
man.
to know what happened.
So basically, our relationship, we were dealing with each other for 4 years. We were on and off for 4 years, but we were in an official relationship for only 6 of the 4 years, six months of the 4 years. So there was a lot of like bad things happening, and it all really came from her. I'm not even gonna lie; she could tell you that herself. And she accepted that, and she owned it. And I guess I don't know if it's called trauma bonding, but I just bonded with her because of the specific levels that we connected. It was beyond just anything physical. It was more mental, emotional, and to me, it was spiritual as well. Just because when she was speaking to me about her upbringing, she's a Garifuna. She's from Honduras too. I'm not gonna say where she's from. I feel like I'm not gonna do all that. But she's from Honduras. She's from Honduras. That's crazy. What? Why'd you say that? Why is that the first thing you said? Why is that the first thing you said? Anyways, never mind. Never mind.
I continue.
But so yeah, she's from Honduras. So like it was just, to me, it made sense. You know what I mean? Like my ideal relationship is with somebody who is from Honduras, who I could teach my culture to. I could take to Honduras. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to do too many trips. Like go to Honduras, we go to Limon, and then we go to wherever you from. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see it. You know what I mean? Especially if you fit in with my family. If you got Ifuna, you're probably most likely gonna fit in with my family because you already know how it is.
Understand?
So for me, it was
Yeah,
go ahead.
I have a question. So I've experienced this. I think my cousin Carla experienced this as well when we were presented to families that, of guys that we dated. What's the big deal of, being with someone that actually speaks Garifuna? Because I see like a lot of the elderly crowd go crazy over a female that was born here but could speak Garifuna fluently.
Because they don't want that part of the culture to die out.
Yeah, but some people speak Garifuna fluently, but they still probably, have poor character.
Yeah, I understand it, but the thing about it is when it comes to the dialect of the Garifuna dialect, as we're all coming, our families are all coming to the U.S., they attempts to die out and water down, right? So even though the food that we create a lot of times could be It seems like a lot of the food that we create is either too hard for certain people to make, or they don't have access to, certain equipment that they had access to back make to keep that Garifuna culture. That dialect of speaking Garifuna is very important to them, because to them Spanish is our second language.
Mm-hmm.
Garifuna kept us together from slavery or whatever it was, from back then, and that's how we speak to each other.
Okay. So if you brought two girls around,
Right.
is it safe to say that they will be like, I like the one that speaks Garifuna?
Absolutely.
100%.
Just because it also gives your mother, like the person who made you, it makes them more connected to that girl, because now they feel like they can say certain words to that girl and like, oh, my granddaughter speaks Garifuna, so now they can have that conversation.
Yep.
I could give you some pushback though. What if the female that speaks Garifuna is not the best person for you, even though they're keeping the culture
That's what I
alive
just
because y'all
said.
both Garifunas? What
Right.
if that's not the person that's really going to be the best person for you?
That's what I just said.
But what I'm saying is, we're thinking about how our parents outlook to things. It's not how we look at it.
We have to take it from what we look at it, because we're the one that's keeping the generation. We're the next generation moving forward.
Right.
It's not how like it used to be where
her questioning was why parents
are preferred. Like why do they prefer the females that speak Garifuna fluently? I've experienced that. I think my cousin has experienced that as well. We do speak Garifuna fluently, and I noticed that when I come and I'm introduced to someone family, and since my Spanish is chopped, I automatically go directly into the Garifuna, and they go crazy. They're like, oh my God, this young girl, she speaks Garifuna. Where were you born? Oh, you were born here? Oh, where your family from? Like, they get very excited, and it's like, oh, bring her next time. Bring her next time. Why is that?
It goes for the males as well. Like,
why?
They have the expectation that we don't understand. And then when they realize that we
I understand that shit like a motherfucker. I just don't speak that shit.
Like, they're impressed.
Well, does a person that speaks Garifuna, does that matter to any of you guys?
No.
Nah, if you speak Garifuna, that's a plus. But honestly, what really matters to me is if you still have connections to Honduras. That way, I know we both kind of have we both have an understanding. That's why going back to, my ex-girlfriend is because we had the same upbringing. We have the same, our path to where we are now is literally the same. So that's why to me, there was a connection there.
What do you mean by connection?
What do I mean by connection?
Yeah.
What type of connection?
It's just understanding that the dynamic of what our household is very similar. So whenever whatever trauma, I guess, or whatever transgression she had coming up, I can relate to it. At the end of the day, when you find somebody, I think what we really look for is relatability. So if you're with somebody and you're experiencing the same thing, that's a form of bonding, in my opinion. If you experience the same thing, you bond through that.
Do you date outside your culture?
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Do you date outside your culture?
I do. I actually don't really date Honduran women. It's hard to find a one that's for me. Right, exactly. So I gotta dabble outside the culture a little bit.
So let's get us back to why you're single, because you was like telling us the story.
My fault. He hit the button. I kind of like hit the button. I got into story time mode, but I'm single because I don't have time. I don't really have time to be dating. Honestly, I think
what did you do wrong in your last relationship? That's what I want to hear.
What did
Can I hit
do
the story
wrong?
time button one more time?
Yes, one more time. I want to hear what you did wrong.
I did no wrong.
What? So
that's impossible.
I did
no ownership.
No. I'm playing.
You did it all wrong.
All right. So what I would say I did wrong was I didn't really get to know her first. I didn't fully get to know her.
Hey, listen, man. Simon used to drive all the way to fucking and used to be Sorry, bro, my fault.
Wait,
Yeah.
where did you drive to? Tell us where you drove to, Simon.
He drove all the way to.
You drive.
I drove. I drove 4 hours away to see this woman.
What? How long y'all was in a relationship for?
We was only together officially for 6 months, but 4 years we was dealing with each other.
Wait, what? So
We-
out of 4 years, you guys only had an official relationship for 6 months. Help me understand that. I don't understand.
They were having fun for 4 years. Fun.
Nah, we wasn't. I wouldn't say fun. I'm not gonna say fun. We was we was trying to figure it out, I guess, for 4 years. She was seeing other people, I was seeing other people, but again, it's just I don't know. There was a form of
You were
connection
in
there.
a situationship.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Do you plan to get married?
I want to get married and I want to have children.
How old are you?
I am 27.
Oh wow. What are your goals?
My goals are well, I accomplished one of them. I'm back in school. I finished. Did all my classes. I passed all my classes. My goal is to graduate in hopefully a year or a year and a half. Um, Move up in the company that I work for. Try to get a house for my family. Whether it be my mother and father and my family, my potential family that I do want to start, and I want to get married. I want to get married and I want to have a few kids.
I
Do you
have
have a time frame for all these things that you're trying to
I would
accomplish?
love to do that by 30.
okay.
2 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm 20. I'm 26. I'm turning 27 this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
A
cool.
question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
How about you,
Oh,
the
Let,
monk?
let me just ask
Man.
him this one last question.
My females in the back. She's got Ifuna. Know what I mean, round applause for her. And
Round of applause. Tell her to come on the screen. If
what
she's
happened?
able, can she come
Tell her
on
to
the
come on the
screen?
screen.
Now she watching Real Housewives. I could bring her on the screen, but she's shy. But she watching Real Housewives of I think
Tell her to just
Potomac or one of them
wait.
stupid shits.
Tell her to wave because we want you guys seem to be like the only couples right now, and
Yes.
maybe you guys got something to
Babe.
show just.
Babe, babe. Hold on, let me get it right now. Hold on.
All right, cool. Wait, I have a real quick question. Arlo, do you plan to get married?
I'd love to.
What does marriage look like for you?
What does marriage look like to me?
Yeah. What would a potential marriage look like for you?
And
You
like
haven't thought about it?
like the personality of the person, or
Like, who would you like to be married to? Would it be within the culture? Is that something you even think about?
like married to somebody in the culture would be a total plus, because the difference within culture sometimes is like, so it's hard to understand certain things. But
She ain't coming on camera. She
Oh,
I interrupted her show.
It's okay.
Nah,
We'll see her next time.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. She's also a host of the podcast as well. What effing
Is
podcast?
she?
So, yes.
Oh my God, we got to catch up.
Yeah, definitely.
You were
I mean, so
saying,
is
Arlo?
like
Sorry.
it's cool. Like it'll be a plus if she was part of my culture, because I feel like we'll understand. Like my cousin Simon, each other totally better. Sorry, where the hell is everybody? Sorry.
Yo, we can't see you. Where you at?
where'd you go?
Hold on.
Oh man.
Oh man.
It's okay.
Arlo, come back.
Why would you do that?
Relationship.
What
Monk,
was the question?
how long you been in your relationship? Like, what got you to settle down? If it's like your official.
Yeah, you guys
So
live together. How did you come to terms to like, yo, this is my person. I want to live with this person, and I want to create something more with this one.
so what happened was damn, I'm about to get deep. So we've been together for 6 years, and I guess no, not I guess. I'm for sure the reason why I decided to make this my relationship, because I don't want to reoccur what happened in the last relationship.
So take us back. What happened in the last relationship?
It got abusive, man. I'm gonna be complete. This is not something I'm proud of, but it got a very abusive to the point where, like, for all the people out there that's using this toxic terminology, that be like, "Oh, it's being toxic. This I'm gonna be toxic. I'm gonna be a toxic bitch. I'm gonna be a toxic nigga." That shit not cool, man. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is your mental health. Now, when you're in a relationship with somebody that's not compatible for you, that's draining you and it's fucking you up mentally. And nobody wants that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like
That's
nobody
true.
wants to be in a predicament where, oh, me and her always gotta argue about shit. Or me and her gotta put our hands on each other because we gotta make a point when who the fuck are we proving shit to? We only proving shit to ourselves. So for us to get that far, it just to me, it was just like, nah, I can't. And I promised myself that next relationship I get in is not gonna be like that. And I had to and me personally as a man, a lot of men don't we don't learn how to accept this, but I needed to mature. I was still immature at the time. Like very immature. I was drinking all the time, doing this, doing that, and wasn't seeing like the bigger picture of who who was supposed to be there for me. She was, but it got toxic. So I had to let that situation go.
Wow. So how did you end up where you are now
As far as what exactly?
with your
How
new?
did you end up with the person that you're
Oh,
with now? What was the
well,
difference?
so like I said, the most important thing with relationships is being to under the ability to understand each other and the ability to communicate. And also it takes growth. So quiet is kept. My last relationship was toxic. This is her first relationship, you know, her first real relationship. And I'm like, I would try to avoid any cost. I would try to avoid everything at all costs to not make it be like that last relationship. Like as long as we communicate and understand each other, then we'll be able to get to where we need to be as a relationship, you know.
Wait.
And now
So
look,
what made you realize that she's the one? Okay. So you've been with her for 6 years.
mhm,
When do you plan to get married?
there's no timetable on being married. All right, so it's crazy because y'all had this conversation on the
On
last
the last
episode,
show.
right?
So
And for
wait. So do you
me,
plan to get married? Yes
I
or
am.
no?
I am. I'm
You
planning to
do?
get married and have kids. Of course.
Does she want to get married?
Of course. He's waiting for me.
What's holding you
Why are you
back?
making her wait?
To be honest, I have flaws. Like as far as people gotta understand how important marriage is. So I could get married to her now, but I still want to be able to give her everything possible. And nobody ever knows when you're ready to give all that. Financially, I'm always going to be there mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. But if I want to get married, I want to not be married in be married and still live in Harlem. The goal is have a house, have your 2 kids, 3 kids, backyard. You know,
Well, let me ask you another question. Wait, for my first question is, would y'all date older women?
I've
Maybe
dated
like
older
5 years
women.
older than you, like a cougar.
A cougar.
Five
I
years.
dated many
Not
older women.
Okay, what?
5 years is not a
Okay,
cougar.
yeah, 5 years is not a cougar. That was
okay,
Who the
40
fuck said
year old,
5 years?
40, because he's 26.
God
Simon,
damn.
you 26 years old. Arla, how old are you? 30? That's
Yeah.
what you said the last time. Okay, and if you don't mind mentioning your age,
I'm 32.
32. Would you, if you were not in a relationship, committed relationship, would you date a 40-year-old?
Drink water.
I'm just saying because I know watching the show, and they're just surprised by how mature you guys are, and
I
so we
would
want to.
I dated a 45-year-old at 27. So I mean no, 25. 20,
Uh,
25, 24.
Welcome,
Did do you
Mario.
believe that she molded you? Welcome, Mario. Welcome.
Mario, what's up, baby?
Yeah, we
Hey,
happy you here.
I'm
You
happy to be
got
back in the.
Okay,
Can
okay.
we hear him? Oh, we can hear him.
He
Yeah, I
said
hear
he's
you.
happy to be back in the mix. So that's what he
Oh,
said.
yeah, we happy to have you. So, my next question is, why is marriage not a priority in Garifuna community?
Yeah.
It
what?
is a priority.
Is it okay?
Is
So
it?
It's so
priority.
prioritized that we don't just don't marry anybody.
Mhm.
Wait, who
Especially not for papeles.
Facts.
The same.
Not the navel guys?
Yeah.
Maybe guy.
Wait, so but it seems like what we're finding oftentimes are situations, not judging your situation, Monk, but like there's a lot of people that, and I've been in that situation too, where you live with someone for an extended period of time, and marriage is not even a question. What's the
Mhm.
problem with that? Like, what's really going on? A female devotes herself, she's playing the housewife duties, taking care of the kid. Now, sometimes you have kids, right? um, Paying bills, just everything that she can possibly do, and still she's not considered for marriage, but yet she's doing all the wifely duties. What's the problem?
I think
Nah,
let
I
me
don't
let
think
me
it's an
real
issue. I
quickly.
think oh no, go ahead, Simon.
My bad. I think because everything that you mentioned is everything that the woman is doing in order for her to get married. Which this it's not. There's nothing wrong. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with what the woman doing. I think it's just more so. Does the man, in particular, not men, but does that particular man want to be a husband? Is he looking to be a husband? Because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself: one, is he worth being a husband? Because if he proposes to you, are you going to say yes to that? Two, um the man himself needs to look at himself and say, am I ready to be fully committed? And 9 times out of 10,
It's a no.
I guess to answer your question earlier, if it's prioritized, he's not ready. They're not ready. And it's just always going to be something that holds it back. There's always going to be like, this, that, and the third.
Not only that, bro, not to cut you off, but the family that I'm with, like my girl, I call them my family too. Like I always told her father, I want to be able to give your daughter the best. And if I'm not up to that standards, then marriage should be the least of my worries. I want to be able to give her every fucking thing, even if I have to work my last and my lungs collapse. I'm willing to do that. But I gotta make sure I could be able to give her everything before I could be like, all right, let's settle down. And regardless, without ring or not, that's my wife. I call her my wife.
Mhm.
But I gotta make sure that I could be able to give her every fucking thing before being able to be like, all right, let's do this.
But like, if you guys are already living together and you
Hmm.
guys are already attacking life together, why not just work on it? You get what I mean?
No, I
Like,
agree with you
you're
100%.
already doing everything. What are your thoughts on that, Mario? Why is it? Let me just ask you the question. Why is it that, right? I'm sorry, I just broke you. You just got back. You just came on. Why is it that, men can live with a female, but they can't commit to marriage? Marriage is never a priority, or almost never a priority.
I personally feel like sometimes I feel like specific life goals trump getting married. Like there's some places I want to place myself before I decide to bring someone else along for the journey. So, for example, I before I get married, I want to purchase a home and
Okay.
purchase a home. So when I do get married, my wife ain't gotta bust our asses and then go grab a home. I kind of want to already have that, so she'll have a home to come to. She'll have a house to come to, and then she herself can turn it into a home.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to already come established. Now, there's other relationships where we can be married and be poor and get it through the mud together, but I don't like mud. I'm at a I'm at a point in my life where I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
nobody
like I
likes
don't
me. I
I
agree
don't
with
want to
that.
struggle as a couple and we both got to figure shit out. Nah, let me go through that and then you reap the
Oh,
benefits of it.
all right.
Go ahead. You was gonna say something more. Oh, what do you think about that, Arlo? And then Michelle, I want you to like give a female's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
Oh, by the
Arlo.
way, there's no wrong answer. By the way,
There's
guys,
no
just
wrong answer.
for
Like
everybody out there,
I don't
you
like
know,
mud
people.
either. No, that was a good one. I'm gonna steal that.
Round of applause for Mario too on that.
Wait, we can't hear you, Arlo.
I said I agree with Mario.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to let me get this home and you turn it into a house, and let me get it from like for me to mentally be comfortable and understand that I provided this home for you, and then from there we could think about the marriage thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me stabilize the foundation that we can sit there and say, yo, you're my wife and I'm your husband.
Okay.
I have to do that alone.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead, Simon.
So, all right. Now, there's not too much of an age difference here, but with dealing with women in my age, everything y'all saying is good. But to some women, if I say that, they would reverse it back to me and just say that it's your pride speaking, because obviously we're as men we want to be providers, but women are gonna tell you that why would I wait for you to give me a home when we can get a home together? So to me, it's like I agree with everything they are saying. All I'm doing really is playing the devil's advocate, because I don't know. Again, like I said, we're not that far in age, but my age group is going to reverse it back to me and say, if that's what's holding you back, then let's just get the home together. Because what her priority might be, she wants to get married and she wants to lock everything up, and then we can do whatever we got to deal with. We can do it together.
No.
Well,
that's
so
wait. So you see what Julia Thomas is saying, which is definitely, yeah, something that we could definitely talk about.
marriage is not celebrated as much in the Garifuna community as it should. I see more baby showers versus weddings celebrations amongst the community, which is true. Unpopular opinion, but something to unpack.
Because
It is
niggas get
true.
coked
You
up in
have
Starlight and then go bone these other hoes, like the fuck.
Nah, that's crazy.
Yo, what do you guys think about that? Because like I have seen that people have like huge baby showers and be looking like a wedding, but
yes,
they're
but
really
they're
like
not married, right? No, they're not married. There's no house. There's no car. No nothing. They
no
have nothing
investment.
together. Just a big baby shower
Weddings
and a
are
baby.
expensive. Weddings
What
are
you
like
Weddings are expensive,
they're
so he rather have a baby shower than the
of a
wedding,
baby.
basically.
They're half the price of a baby shower. Baby shower, all you gotta do is book a venue, get somebody to make food, and do a registration. Do you know what goes into having a wedding? Like seriously,
That shit about 50K plus.
there's the deciding whether you want to do it on a location or deciding whether you want to do it home where everybody can make it. Then there's also the wedding reception. Then you got to go into the food. Then you got to go into the outfits, bridesmaids and the groom.
Yeah, and there's
Then
also
hair and
the
makeup.
justice of peace.
No one. I'm
Sign it
not going to
and
celebrate
get out.
me spending my life with one woman and 161. I can't do that. Like this is something I only.
No,
This is
but
something I
you're
only want to
saying
do one time. Because after I get married, if I get divorced, it's over. It's not happening again. But I want to celebrate that and go through all the steps.
Well, but
that's perfectly fine. My point is that that's also an option. So just like you don't have to have a baby shower, people choose to have these big old extravagant baby showers. But then I've seen lately, like, people throw baby showers and then they'll put on the invitation, preferably cash for gifts. Like they won't put no sizes, but
that's crazy.
Like, so you should have
Stupidity, I
never
tell
been
you.
throwing no baby shower if your broke ass didn't have nothing. Like, come on.
And that goes back to what we were saying though. Like, we want to make sure that, first of all, my girlfriend, my wife, I'll say, is she's worthy of a wedding. I'm not gonna sit there and take her to fucking city hall, sign papers, and that's that.
That's a
Feel
fact.
me? I'm not doing that. I want to make sure that house is already in order. Want to make sure our savings is in order. Want to make sure that this person in order, that person in order, we're in order. I'll put all the money up. She'll put the money up, and then we're good. Know what I mean?
So going back to what Simon was saying, a lot of females feel like, we understand that you guys want to be providers and you want to set everything up for us when that time comes, but it is cheaper to keep her. So why not work together and get to the goal even quicker? Like, why you trying to have the world? You guys complain about the world being on your back. You're a black man and all this stuff. So why not work with your lady to get that done?
That's what
she can help
I'm
you.
about to get at you too. This is why us as Garifuna men, or just men in general, should be able to have these conversations with your lady. Like me and my girl talk about this shit all the time. We move. If y'all know how much times we moved within the past 6 years, we moved 3 times. We're like, all right, this is one. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. Next time is the house. We have to put that We have to put that down payment down so we could be able to set up our mortgage and whatever the case may be. But you have to think about things like that, because let's say you want to move. Like say you want to buy a house in Jersey, but you don't like the community. These are things you have to think about because your kids is gonna move there. These are conversations we all have to have with our ladies so we can be able to progress. I'm sorry.
No, you good. So just me being right. So I hear everything that y'all saying, right? And the reason what y'all saying is the reason why I'm in the position I'm in. And the point that I want to make is that we talking about getting to a place where we want to provide and we want to be able to give all the things we want to give to our wife. Now, what exactly are we doing in order to do that? Because for me, it took me a long time to realize, because I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't see life after 25. I just thought life was going to be whatever. You know what I mean? But after I turned 25, it's like, yo, things are really happening. I got a better job. I'm going back to school. And I'm not doing this literally just to say I did it. I'm literally doing this because, like I said, 30 years old, I want to be able to say I did everything that I need to do, and now it's time to find a wife. Now it's time to get married.
Real quick, right? That was good. Gisela Palacio said the problem with most Garifuna women, or let's say women even in general, is that we allow ourselves to play housewives and then make the men comfortable and not feel like they have to commit to marriage. Is that true?
Yeah. Are you guys comfortable in your situation?
No one plays the wife. You don't. That's not something you play. That's not something you play. That's something that you do. I mean, before you're not gonna walk into a dealership, pick out a car, and then not know how the car drives. Of course, you're doing that. You're showing him that you're capable of being that if the situation presents itself. So if marriage is something you want, yes, you have to show him that you can cook, you can clean, you can maintain a home. I don't want to sit there and walk in your crib and I got to take off my shoes to walk in your house, but your carpet dirty. Like you got to make it make sense. I'm not you have to do these things so you can show him that you're capable of that. It's not playing. You're showing him. You're giving him the application to show him that you're able to apply for the job.
But Mario, but also us as men got to do vice versa. You know how we do, bro. Like, you got to make sure that you could be able to do the same thing for your wife.
And that's great. I have a question.
So I guess,
but I'm saying, like, there's women that've been doing that like
for years, and I guess what she was trying to say is
played for years, but it's like there's women that's out there really. How is it fair, right? That you get to take your time. Does it take 10 years to buy a house?
No.
Not if
they really don't.
Your credit fucked up and you ain't got no job and stuff. Have to have purchase a home.
It should not take 10 years to purchase a home, right? It shouldn't take that long to purchase a home. It should take, like, I mean, if you guys are together, you guys are already living together, already doing what you guys are doing together. Why not get married?
And it goes back, and not only that, Carla, it goes back to conversation.
She filled out the application and you accepted her, right?
How much is
so why not get married to that person?
The wedding is the price of down payment on the house.
Okay, but we're not talking about wedding. We're talking about marriage, commitment.
Do you fully think you really know someone though?
I'm committed.
Look, no one
I'm
ever
committed.
really
I'm
knows.
just
No one ever really knows
good.
anyone.
Because you could be,
I don't
because
even
you can be excited. You can be excited to want to marry an individual, and all of a sudden y'all married, and then all of a sudden you walk in the house a minute late, and he slapped the shit out of you. After that, is it really what you wanted? Like,
But
give
no,
us some thought.
no. That's crazy.
Like before, no, what I'm saying is, if like you want marriage, that's what you want long term. You have to be extremely sure that this is the man that you want to marry. You got to know the bad, you got to know the good, you got to know the moods, you got to know the in between. Now that's gonna take a while. Now,
How long?
How
do
long?
it
How
take for
long?
people to know each other? What's
little-
the time frame? Give us
a little over 5.
a
A
little
little over 5
years.
years.
There's been people that's been in relationships for more than 5 years who
Steve Harvey said that a man knows if he want to marry a woman within the 6 months that he's with her.
Just
fact.
like
6
y'all
months
know
to a
if y'all
year.
want to have sex in the first minute. It's the same. You just sometimes you just know.
But yo, hold on. I just want to say this. Steve Harvey said that, but Steve Harvey has been divorced. Is he divorced? And how long? How many times?
Fuck Steve Harvey.
That's what I'm
8?
saying. So me personally, I'm not taking advice from a man who's
Steve
not
Harvey-
married.
Steve Harvey's wife now, she left the nigga for a drug dealer. 2 of them. Then when both them that's when both them niggas died. She ended up with him because she had a lifestyle that she wanted to live. So what is
I'm not taking advice from Steve Harvey.
He became committed to her. What's going on with men out here that they not?
Yeah,
Committed?
he committed to her though.
Why are they
Nah.
not? Why are men out here
Well-
not committing to marriage? Like, what's really? Tell us what's going on.
Okay,
But-
well, before y'all answer that, let me piggyback on what what's her name, Gisela? Let's piggyback on what she said. So I think what she was trying to say is that a lot of women,
I agree with the last
here-
thing she said too.
they out here doing all these things so that you can find them like, valuable and that they can fill this position as a wife. But most times a lot of men live with you, feel comfortable with what you're giving. You're goal oriented, you go out for work, you can hold down your own if anything was to happen to him. You cook, you clean, you're nurturing, you're submissive, all these things that you're exhibiting to him, and then you still don't have a ring on your hand. So is it because you're comfortable, or is it really because you're working on getting to that point to give her what she needs? I think that's what she really was trying to say.
You have to. I feel like you have to have those type of conversations with your partner to make sure that y'all both on the same page. That's why I said you don't play housewife. If you're showing him this is what I'm capable of, this is what I bring to the table, then from then on, you give him that deadline. Like, listen, bro, I've been doing this 5 years. This is what I've presented to you. Now
what's
you can
next?
either what's next? Like, what are we gonna do? Let me know now so I know how to move with you.
So, at what point does a woman walk away?
Whenever she
Yeah.
wants to, at any point she wants to.
Well, after
What-
5-6 years, at that point, and you see there's no progression, you don't have no choice but to walk away. Yeah, it's gonna be hard, but it has to be done. Because now you look what good years you wasted making someone else who wanted to make you a wife do that. But some niggas just say that just to clap your buns anyway.
And then niggas clap the buns and then be still try to make them play housewife, and then that's when they got female
Baby mama
mind
drama.
fucked up. So what the fuck is wrong with these niggas? Yo, give them
Yeah,
niggas a sad
like,
trombone.
Honestly, I think woman 6 years. I'm not gonna lie, 6 years is a lot because
It is too much.
If the script was flipped to me and I was doing everything, providing for a woman and giving her everything, I had a house for, and I did all that, and then
We'll leave soon.
and then I you know what I mean, like I go on one knee and I ask her to marry me and she say no. That 6 years gone down the drain, money going down the drain, all that.
Not necessarily. Maybe she doesn't want to get married right now, but you don't know what her feelings might be 4 or 5 years from now.
And then people gotta really understand, like,
So people
relationships
supposed to
are
wait till 4 or
investments,
5
yo.
years?
It's
That's
not
what
even
I'm
about
saying.
wasting. I know a man who fell in love with his wife and loved her dearly, right?
I agree with
What
you,
happened
Aziza.
was-
That shit is the stupidest shit in the world.
What
Continue.
happened
My fault,
is
brother.
they ended up breaking up. Shorty moves to Arizona, right? They get a divorce. Shorty takes the snowblower in the divorce. She took the snowblower to
And
Arizona.
she live in Phoenix.
Wait,
Why she
what?
do that? Why
I
she
don't,
do
I
that?
don't, because when you get married, you have to give them half of everything. She took the snowblower to
To Phoenix.
Arizona.
Nice.
Like, give us some thought.
No, yeah, for sure.
And this is why I'm trying to understand. Yes, marriage is important, but you gotta know who you marrying, because that's something I only want to do once. I be damned if I'm in fucking Pennsylvania with 10, 15 feet of snow and I lose my snowblower because you want to get married to another nigga in Arizona. That's crazy.
Yo,
But
That's
I
petty.
think it's safe to say that every day you learn something new about your partner, or even in your friendships. So you never really finish getting to know someone.
The same way you get to know somebody every day, you kind of, if it's true love, you fall in love with that person every day. You grow deep and deep in love with that person every day. So it's no to me, it's no time frame. If I meet somebody tomorrow and in like 2 weeks everything seems like it's right and it seems like it's good, shit, I might just give it a ring. I'm probably not, but it's time frame don't
Yeah.
really matter.
Look at Arlo's expression. He's like, what, nigga?
He's 25. He don't know no better.
Yeah.
Jesus, she said children are a lifetime expense. A wedding is a one-time expense.
I
Yet
agree with her
Yes,
100%.
child
I agree
over
with her
marriage.
100%.
Big facts.
exactly.
Yeah, because she just said some real stuff. Like, what do you think about that?
Your kids are with you forever. That wedding is just one day.
And I will take that one day for the
You can't
rest of.
wait, huh?
I'll take that one day for the rest of my life to know that
Yo,
we
you know
did
what's
it
the
right, bro. I'm not
you know
going
what's the
to
crazy thing
161.
about weddings though, bro? Like you spend a lot of money to make other people feel happy
Namu.
and enjoy themselves. It's just like I'm spending 60K plus for y'all to come over
Mhm.
to my wedding, eat my free food, throw rice, have your kids throw rice at
That's
me and my
all I was
wife,
saying.
and then
Mhm.
for y'all to go
All right.
home back in your little Nissan sedan and talk shit about the wedding. Like what the fuck are we doing? Like
Which is why I would like to leave my wedding and go to my house. This
Well,
is
let me ask you a question. Are you
So you
scared?
want to get the house and then have the wedding, like so you want to establish all those things and then get married and then to come back to your home. Because
the
I've
thing.
seen people get married and
Are,
it's like you going back to the projects.
are,
Like that
yeah,
doesn't make
that
sense.
makes no fuck. That's a lot of
Wow.
garifunas right now.
women willing to get married without the
They
wedding?
go back to Washington projects,
You said
Webster,
are women
Yes,
willing to get married without a wedding, like the whole reception and stuff?
Jackson.
I think
I
so.
am.
I want to be honest, okay?
I am. Answer,
That's a
cuz.
great question. That's a great question. I got married without a huge
Wait,
wedding,
wait,
right?
wait.
One of
Round
the
of
first
applause for
things,
you.
yes. I was young, right? I got married without a wedding. And it was like a thing that happened like that real fast. But I'll tell you this much, right? One of the first things my husband asked me was, do you want a big wedding or do you want a house? And so
The house,
it,
right?
yeah, when
Me
you
both.
really like calculate that,
Fuck.
right?
Nobody
I'm
care
gonna
about no
be
wedding.
honest with you. I love my house. I don't really care about the wedding.
Exactly. That's my
Beautiful
point.
is beautiful, and my kids are happy. I'm happy. He's happy, and we're living very well. So I mean, but to each his own. If you want a big wedding, have your big wedding. And
Yeah.
I also believe that you can do it together.
That's a
Thank
I
fact.
you.
want both.
Me and
You
wifey
can
was talking
build
about
a
buying a
family
condo in Yonkers the
together.
other day.
I'm
Nice.
Like
sorry.
these are things that are the things that we want to think about before. All right, you
Getting
want to
But
be my
married.
I
pussy for
will
life?
say this: we
I'll be your.
didn't
You be my pussy for
we
life.
didn't get the house first. It was something that came within, what we had, and it wasn't easy getting there. And so I mean, and everybody's opinion does matter, and everybody, whatever you guys believe, that's your belief. There's someone out there that believes the same way. But for me, because of how the trajectory of my life and how everything went,
Mm-hmm.
that was what was important, for us and for the family that we established. And so I don't believe, me personally, and I've never been this way, I don't really believe in the big,
Fairy
fantasy
tale
wedding,
wedding.
or I don't really even believe in walking around with a nice bag and my pockets is empty. You know,
Right.
you do see a lot of people out there, you know, they walk around, they have on the best sneakers, best shoes, you know, red bottoms on, purses, but they don't even have $1 to their name. You understand?
That's New York. That's New York City in general right now. Just to
Right.
clarify,
And
because
so
it's
for
bad.
me, you know, the person that I met, I'm very grateful for. And I think I've said this many times, because like the mindset was the same. And I don't live my life like that. But for those people that, you know, want a huge wedding, that's perfectly fine too, because you're
Kudos.
married one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
kudos to them.
would I eventually love a wedding? Of course. I think that's a lot of a women's dreams, and I would dream to have that. But go ahead.
Congratulations. You say you will
And
soon
there's
have
nothing
that?
wrong with the expectation. That's amazing for every female or every
Yeah.
guy that want
Mhm.
that. So yeah, just put that out there. Simon?
My thing is, I don't think it makes sense to get married, have a big old wedding, this big old reception, and everything was like popping great, right? And then they go back to the projects. Like, it just does not make sense to me. And then put on the invitation, money only for gifts. So you need to pay back all them debts that you took out, right? All them loans that you took out because you
Mhm.
wanted to have a big wedding. So it wasn't really worth it.
But it goes like Julia said, it goes back to the conversation that you have with your significant other.
Significance.
It goes
Significance.
back to that. Like, my fault, y'all. I'm dyslexic, but it goes back to that. Like, y'all have to be able to have these conversations and set these goals with each other so y'all can understand. And that's another thing too. Like, there's a lot of people in our community, or just in general, they'd be like, "Oh, they've been with each other for 7 years, 8 years, or they not married yet." Who the fuck are you to judge what we got going on? What we understand, what we got going on. You have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, people have to respect that, because they don't know what the conversation is happening within A and B. You know?
Right.
And it's none of their business.
As long as y'all on the same page about what direction y'all headed in, it shouldn't even matter.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Do you guys
Everybody
think that a lot of women within our culture, women in general, decide to break off the relationship because they don't see that coming? Because it might take you a while to get to the bag, to get to the house, to get all this done that you're trying to do by yourself. So, do you think that sometimes women don't understand your vision and feel like you're just lying, and they just leave and they go for another person?
And then they sit there when you are eventually the home is purchased and you are married to someone else, not them, and they're gonna sit there and and kill themselves. Because you seen Acrimony.
Ah, that was crazy.
Did you see the
Whoa.
Did you see the movie
I did see
Acrimony?
Yes, I did
She
see
didn't
Acrimony.
believe, and the man was working and busting his ass, and all of a sudden, when he got that deal, here she came talking about, "Hey, we're not on that same type of time no more, baby. I'm out."
But in that movie, her family was the bad influence. It wasn't like, she was just weak minded. So
But women
that's
do have
different.
their side conversations about what they're going through personally. So you open yourself up for advice and those type of negative sayings, and then you tend to believe that.
Well, let me ask
Surround
you a
yourself with
question
positive
Some
from
people.
people.
women and advice, right? Who are your influences? Like, are you talking to, like, even Arlo can answer, right? Like, who are your influences? Are you guys talking to other married men, or like take a look around your circle? Are a lot of the people in your circle married?
Arlo?
No.
Yeah.
Arlo's gone.
Well,
For
Mario
me,
said
my
no.
influence was from my parents' experience.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate to be in a 2-parent household, where my mom was the earner, my father was the earner until he got disabled. So I look at that experience and I pick up from that. Not saying that I want to be that, but I look
Right.
at things like that, And they've been married, God bless their soul. They've been married for 40 years.
Wow.
So, I
And
look
you get
at
a
things
round
like
of
that.
applause. Do a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
That really deserves it.
What about you, Simon?
I
Well,
mean,
I've been blessed to be around a couple that have been married 47 years. and
Round of applause for that.
it damn sure wasn't easy. They still argue. They still argue to this day. But they have. But one thing they do know is that they love each other.
I mean, arguments happen. No relationship is perfect. Um, how about yourself, Simon? What did you have to say?
I mean, my influence is really, most of the people, as you can see, that are, in my life, as far as the men, are older than me. So I get my influence. I go live through their experiences. You know what I mean? Like, I see what they've done, I see what they learn from their mistakes, and whatever it is that they did correctly. My parents as well, and also women. Like we mentioned before, there's a lot of women in our lives, so I take the advice from them. And if they tell me, if I see that they've been with somebody for over X amount of time and they're unsatisfied, then I know that that's probably not the type of road that I should take as a man, when I'm with my woman.
So Evelyn
Men,
said,
you want to call me? Why are you? Sorry.
this is why it's important to go through marriage counseling before getting married. People skip this step and don't understand why.
Yeah, because in marriage counseling, you might realize that after you go through the counseling, maybe you guys are not meant to get married, or maybe one person has childhood trauma that needs to be addressed and fixed before you guys can get married. It's a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse that people have endured, that needs to be fixed. So you can't just jump into a marriage and then take out those inner demons on the person that you're getting married to, because then that's how the problems start and it does not work out.
That's true. I also wanted to, Gisela also said buying a house comes with
legal rights.
How can your future wife have the legal rights to the house you're buying if you're not married?
That's where it goes back to we split. We having these conversations where me and you put the money down to this house. It's not one owner. It's two
It's
owners. We
also
own.
the
We own
word
this.
called is beneficiary.
This is. I know you had this conversation last week, nigga.
Right. This is what I'm saying. It's
paperwork
that you put into place that should. Beneficiary is paperwork that you put into place that should anything happens to you, this person now claims ownership of XYZ. You don't necessarily have to be married to take half. You can still take half and be the beneficiary. No, you can take all of it and be the beneficiary. Should something happen to your partner, your husband, or whatever, marriage is not
That's where if you work for a job that have a pension, you add the beneficiary and everything, so they could be able. Anything happens to you, yeah, I see what you mean. Yep.
Right,
but
you don't necessarily have to be the wife to claim the benefits of your partner busting his ass.
But preferably, it'll be nice for them to be the wife or the husband. It'll be better that way. So
right, it sounds good when you walk into the room and say I'm the wife, but it also sounds good when you in mediation and the lawyer is reading, oh, this is what he said he wanted to do, or all this goes to you.
But that's if something happens.
Right.
That's a big
You're talking about rights as far as, when we break up, I want half.
I got you.
Well, Gisela's a realtor, so I think she's about to. She's a realtor, so I would like to hear what she got to say about this. But let's go to something real quick, right? I think you made a comment last week, Mario, about
what do men benefit from marriage?
Nothing.
Yes, he did. He said, "What did Arlo? What did you say?"
I've had these conversations with a lot of men. Don't get me wrong.
Okay,
so it doesn't change my view on wanting to get married. I still do want to get married. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But my thing is if we honestly, really, really think about it, men don't benefit from marriage at all.
Yes, I do.
Why do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, getting the trophy. How dare you guys say that? How dare you guys say that?
They sell trophies in sports stores, right? You can go buy one for $19.95. What's your initials on it?
Listen.
And
look.
as much as you want.
What, Arlo?
You can put any engravement as much as you want.
Right.
Customize it.
Listen. The type of person that it depends on the type of person that you're going for. So I feel like both people, both parties, right, benefit. Yes, it depends on the type of person you're going for. If you're looking for somebody who actually you have to take care of everything for, and she can't do anything for herself, she has no education, doesn't know how to do anything. Of course, when you marry her, if anything was to happen to you, then you're screwed because you chose that type of person.
If she's smart and she's bitter, you're still screwed.
But
A
that,
woman
like I
decides
said,
one day that
but
she
like
doesn't
I
want to be
baby
said,
married to
mamas
you
to
no
me.
more. She
but
can
like I
leave
said,
and take half the shit that you built.
Let me.
but
Let
men
me.
have left women and took half of whatever it is as well. And
Shout
Yo,
out
you
to
know
Mary
what?
J.
Round of
Blige.
applause for the nigga
Mary
that was
J.
married to
Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
Facts. Mary J. Blige.
Mary J.
And
Blige.
shout out to Stedman. Stedman is still hanging in there. He's still
Round of
hanging
applause
in
for
there.
Stedman too.
That man don't do nothing. He played the back and he stayed there. He cool.
Okay, wait, real quick. Evelyn said, ladies, if you were to get married, would you want to change your last name? Gentlemen, would it be okay if a woman decides to keep her last name after marriage?
course.
I ain't gonna lie.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'm gonna be
hyphenated.
let me
I would
hyphenate
be
it.
okay with it. Me personally, I'll be fine.
I
The
And
hyphenate
man
that's
it.
is
what
okay
Zarzu
with
was saying.
anything.
not having that. He was like, no, you not, it's not meant for you to have your last name. He was not going for that. I think that a man leaves his mother and father, man and woman, to become one to his spouse. And
Absolutely.
that's how it's just my belief. That's how that's supposed to go on. A woman cannot transfer her last name to,
So the kids can't have the same last name, right? They can't have
they
both
can.
last.
They can.
Like, your legacy usually goes on. Like when you give birth to a child, a son, right? Is the
Mhm.
father's last name carries on, right?
True.
And
Right.
so I think that's like the cycle. I mean, I don't know. If you're married to somebody, you take on the person's last name. That's just how it is.
Absolutely. That's how it's supposed to be. And they don't even let that hyphenation bullshit get you either, because that's another trick.
Some people
Because
do it.
even though you hyphenate your last name, by law, they only care about that first name.
The first one.
That hyphenated shit don't mean nothing. They only care about that first name. The hyphenation is null and void. So if your last name is, let's say, for example, Arzu Solano, Arzu is the only thing that matters. Solano can go eat a cock. Like, seriously, that's the way it is by law.
Yeah, Arlo, do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So you wouldn't let a woman like keep her last name? What if she had an emotional tie to it though? Like if she had an emotion, you guys
She would have to be the only child of her dad and have to be very, very close with her dad. Like, I gotta see you cry at the thought of his name, or at the conversation where he comes up. I need you to break down in tears.
I still cry about my father.
Okay,
But
Mr.
if I
Mrs.
was
Torres.
if I was to get married, I would take
That's
my
crazy.
husband's
That's my
last
mom's
name.
last name, Flores. Yeah, facts.
Look, okay, so Julia said the father name only carries if it's on record on birth certificate.
Birth certificate.
That don't mean shit because you know what? I don't even.
Relaxation,
Go ahead.
Not saying from my personal experience, because, but I know some people that's on birth certificates, but are they really fathers?
Whoa!
Okay.
What are you
Oh my
talking about?
God.
All right.
That's a fact.
Preach.
Can I get more details? I'm a little.
Oh, your turn.
Okay. So
He said he wanted more details, Mo.
Yeah, I said I wanted more.
Oh, you want? I
details.
know. So my thing is, right, like, you could be a man to nothing a woman, but you can't be a man to take care of a child, but they take your name. The legacy don't continue with you.
What's
It
going on
continues
right now?
with the mom.
Okay. So basically, you're saying not the father, but the father that stepped up.
Yeah, the mom pop that stepped up.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Okay, I have a real
not the dad.
comment real quick. So we were talking about like, I think Mario, you were like not buying, you want to purchase a home before you get married,
Before.
and how it goes into the beneficiary is what you really need, that you don't really have to be married, right? Or
Right.
can you rephrase that?
Right. You can give the deed to whatever you purchase to someone else in the, God forbid, in the happening of your demise. If you were to die, everything that you leave on your deed or in your paperwork would go to whoever you signed it off to. Now, the only way that your husband or wife can take something from you is unless you owned it, but there's no other paperwork to it. Then it automatically goes to your significant other. That's common sense. But anything that you put on paper, they're going to listen to you even after life.
Okay,
It's
so
legally binding.
So
The
Gisela
will.
said, right? So she's a realtor, and she said that being married when purchasing a property protects both the husband and the wife. And yes, you can add anyone to the deed. However, that doesn't stop an immediate family member, like a parent, to fight for the house, which they can't
Man, I'm
if
getting married tomorrow.
you're legally married. So
Yeah,
that's
get married tomorrow, man.
Yo, yeah.
beneficiary
Let me get you.
versus being married. Being married weighs more. So imagine, like I think we talked about last week, right? If a person's been with you many years, and then like all they can be in your life is a beneficiary, does that like really, is that fair?
I mean, you benefit the same as a wife. What's the difference?
Do you
No.
really?
Where don't you?
So beneficiary, I guess I think it equates to be your children.
Right, it's all in who you put down on the paperwork. If I can write right now that I have life insurance for $250,000, and that $250,000 goes to my girlfriend, and then my kids don't get shit, I would know that giving that money to my girlfriend, she'll be wise enough to be able to divvy up that money to where she would put something aside for when the kids become of age. Because giving a kid that's 14, 15, like how old my kids are, $250,000 at that age, they're gonna burn through it.
Not if you raise them the right way.
We're talking about kids, bro. You already know they're gonna get every pair of Jordans and do it wrong because you didn't set nothing in place. Which is why I like to put adults in charge of money, even though they can fuck it up too. But they would best know how to put it into a CD or into a trust or into something that can gain interest. So when they do turn 18, they start off at 18 with a 720 credit score and $100,000.
What if, are there any kind of like conditions you could put? You're not getting this money till you 18, and then you pass.
Yeah, you can.
We seen Power. You seen Power.
Yeah, you can.
Of course.
Kyrie can't get shit unless he graduates from college
100%.
with a 4.0.
That was crazy.
Tariq ain't gonna get that money.
Do you see Tasha walking into the courtroom saying, "That's my husband, give me my money"? No, Tasha don't get shit. Everything was written off for Tariq.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, Mario? The grandma got shit. The grandma got something and she ain't getting nothing. That's fucked up.
Because it's all in the paperwork. And remember, he was still legally married to Tasha. What Tasha got? Hard dick and bubblegum.
And she had her meat mill braids and went into jail with them braids.
Talking about how things went south, right, with them in their relationship. So what do you guys think is the biggest reason for breakups? Do you gain any type of accountability of your mistakes and your f-ups? Like, is it your fault?
I'm a man. I take accountability. I fucked
in
up.
a relationship.
Not this relationship, but past relationship. Yeah, I done fucked up.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest reason for relationships to break up? Like, why doesn't it work out?
Insecurities on both sides.
Okay.
Insecurity, past trauma, PTSD, just things like that, infidelity, obviously, but it's just more so. I think it's just miscommunication on top of everything. Because if you're dealing with something, you got to talk to somebody. If you not, you don't, if you don't see the person the same way you saw them when you first got into the relationship, you have to tell that person. You should tell that
That's
person.
right.
You know what I mean? So it all boils down to, in my opinion, miscommunication or lack of communication.
But
I have
all
a
of that
Okay.
question,
gotta be
Simon.
all
Oh,
of
go
that
ahead.
gotta be in I feel like that's true, but I feel like that also has to be done in small doses too. Because
Right.
if you
Very
cry,
true.
if you cry, say if you cry and weep your eyes out in front of a woman, I don't think that respect factor is still gonna be there because she's gonna be like, "Shut up, bitch! You cried."
That's crazy.
like
That's
I
not
feel like
true.
no matter when, if she gets
This is
mad
crazy.
enough, she'll all them little vulnerabilities that you shown her is gonna get thrown in your face.
All her friends,
Not every woman does it, but
all her
some women gonna be like, well, shit, that's why your uncle died and you was crying like a faggot. And look, she
I,
loses that little respect that
Yo,
she has for you
Mario,
because you
let
was
me tell you
vulnerable
though,
that
real
one time.
shit. The best thing as a man, this is why like I'm big on mental health because like I said, I suffer from anxiety and everything. The best thing to do is as men, we should show emotion. And if we don't show
Exactly.
emotion, you never know where, you know what I mean, you never know where your female knows how you feel, how you feel, or the people around you know how you feel. I think that's the most important thing. I would cry in front of anybody so they could know, like, nigga, I'm vulnerable, nigga.
Me too.
Yeah, nigga, I'm crying, nigga. I know I'm going through some shit.
I can do
But
that.
there's a
The
limit.
fuck?
There's a limit to how much you should cry.
Anxiety.
You can't be
I'm
crying 20 straight minutes, bro.
I'm doing the Jordan cry. I'm doing like two
Nah,
tears and shit.
There you
My
go.
face
There
gonna
you
be
go.
greasy.
That's
Nigga.
about
can't even do
that's
that.
about 5 minutes. Then
5 minutes
after
is too
that,
much.
it's all right.
I'm in this.
Come on, by. It's
Yeah,
after
yeah,
that,
I'm
bro.
not.
Chill. Enough is
I
Give
enough.
it a
I'll
minute,
do,
minute and a
nah.
half, 2 minutes. Then you like, all right, bet. But no, but either way,
Nah, man. I
though,
don't know.
we as men need to know how to show emotion too, because a female cannot have always female not always gonna figure out how you're feeling. You gotta let her
Exactly.
know where you coming from and where you stand. Like if you know you fucked up, let her know you fucked up. This is where it goes back to communication, which I said since the beginning of the podcast. Mental health is real, y'all. This shit is no
Absolutely.
joke. Garifunas
So
right now.
let me ask you a question. Do you guys acknowledge that, are you guys not acknowledging your mental health? Like, are you guys not open about it? Like Arlo, are
Yeah.
men not, like, are you not open about discussing like what's going on with your mental state?
The thing about us men is not that we're not comfortable discussing it. It's like we just brush it under the rug because we got to keep it moving.
Yeah, we do bad with that, y'all. We gotta
Yeah, but
switch that narrative.
how do you address
Women,
the things that you're going through? You got to get it off your chest. You have to speak to someone. So how does that work for you?
we'll probably speak to each other, but we don't break it down. Like women, y'all have this sore group, y'all have this one cousin, sister, whatever that y'all can break down your emotion to like they can kind of sort you through it. Us as men, like we say what's going on to to the homie, and then the homie, he kind of like help us build us back up, and then from there that's it. Ain't never talked about it no more. Like, that's it. Like, bro, that's it. All right, that 15 minutes of breaking this down, and you good? All right, cool. Let's keep it moving. You got to keep it pushing. We
Right.
just men keep it pushing.
But is that enough? Is 15
Yeah,
minutes
that's what
enough?
I'm saying. Is that really for somebody to be like,
It's
all right,
not
that's
enough.
okay?
But I
Because it
feel like
seems like
you should give yourself time to go through those emotions. Like there's like what's it? It's like 7 steps to grievance. There's also steps like that when it comes to when you're feeling down and when you're not in the mood and all of that. You can be in that space, acknowledge it, and be in it. But there's only but so much time you can be there because at the end of the day, life is gonna move forward with or
It
without
is.
you.
It is. It is.
What
So
100%.
determines
it's okay to mentally be down. Everybody deserves to be down. Everybody needs a mental break. Like me myself, I needed my vacation. I just came from
I saw
Mexico
you with your
yesterday.
toes out, nigga. You had the green
Did you
sandals
see?
on. I was
Did you
like, this
see the
nigga's having a
hoochie
good
daddy
ass
shorts?
time.
Like
Round of
I
applause.
Round of
needed
applause
like
for this
I
nigga,
needed
man.
that.
Hold on, hold on.
I really, I needed all of that. I needed every single minute of that vacation because it's been 11 months since my last vacation because I've been busting my ass. Now I took my little 3-4 days to decompress and let it all out. Don't get me wrong, it's still stuff there that I want to let out, but I felt like I did enough when I went on vacation that now it's time to get back to the grind and I can continue moving forward. I don't dwell in spaces for too long. I might get in a rut for maybe 2-3 days, but after that, it's like, come on, let's get it, Poppy. Life moving on.
Yo,
Let's
round of
catch up.
applause for Mario, man.
Facts.
But back to, but for everybody else,
Mhm.
like for you, Carla, how do you deal with like mental wealth for the most part?
I read a lot. I'm big on reading books. I offer. So I've done therapy before. I like to talk through my issues. I have close friends, like really, really close people that like I can like really trust, that I can talk to, and just be and you know, be myself with, because it's not everybody that you can have conversations with, even as like women, because women judge women all the time. Like
Right.
Mhm.
you can walk by, and if you say one little thing, they're judging you just for that. So I think it's important to have at least that one person that you can go to, and you can express yourself to, and there's no judgment within that conversation. So I do have at least one person or two people that I can go to, and have like personal conversations with. I think it's important for people to be careful, like what they're looking at, what they're watching, who you're socializing with. I definitely don't socialize like with a group of females. Like I don't be in that type of atmosphere, because
Mhm.
again, like sometimes, I mean, we can be toxic to ourselves. So imagine being in a group of people, a circle of people that are toxic all the time. You know, the minute you turn your back, they're talking about you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think that it's important to like really take care of your mental wealth by reading. And I've heard a saying that said, if you want to hide anything from a Black person, put it in a book.
Put it in
And
a
so I
book.
really
Mhm.
take care of my mental wealth
Chris
that way.
Rock.
Yep.
Round of applause for that, man. That's some real shit right there.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna lie.
First of all,
That's real shit.
send me the link to that sound thingy that you got over there. I need what it is.
Now, but the only reason I bring up milk, I'm gonna ask everybody the question that's over here, and this, of course, in this panel. The only reason why I asked is because us as Garifuna, we learn to just move on, move forward, and not actually be into our emotions. We just
Mhm.
decide to drink and sniff cocaine and smoke weed, and that's not helping anything. Like it's not gonna help the deeper issue. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people that really deal with trauma within our community, and I know that a lot of people in this panel don't know. I retired from ecstasy because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of I go around, I constantly put my ass out to perform for people, and I'm dealing with all this emotion around me, and it's not good for my mental health. I'm like, I'm trying to make everybody else feel good, but nigga, am
How
I
about
good?
yourself?
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that shit wasn't right. Like there's been times where I go into the bathroom, I see niggas sniffing cocaine. Hey, yo, get on. I'm like, nigga, I don't even sniff cocaine. Nigga, what the fuck you want to give me that shit?
Barely smoke weed.
Now I don't even smoke weed. I don't do none of
Word.
that shit. Like, so it's just I drank, of course, obviously, but it's just more so of like, how could we get us as a people in the better space overall? You know?
Yeah, I think that is important for us to always have like these conversations. That's another reason why we open up like a panel like this among us, you know, where people are open to coming on and just talking about the experiences, and probably even like we have like a lot of big plans to like make it bigger, where we can bring our community together, because you know times have changed and people change over time, right? And so
Mhm.
I think that is important for us to reach out to one another and really have like these type of conversations, important conversations, because I think that other communities are doing it. I don't think we do it enough for ourselves, because everybody's like trying to live their own life and trying to be better than the next person. And I think there's no one person better than the other. So
Exactly.
and that's the purpose of like these videos that we're creating, is so to bring awareness and to have like these tough conversations that nobody really want to have. And I appreciate you guys for coming on and being a part of the cast for that.
Round of
But
applause for that.
yeah, I wanted to read what Juliet said. She said, "Weaponizing your emotions is no bueno. Our social emotional health is a key part of our well-being. It's fine. It's a fine line between trying to understand your emotions versus experiencing your emotions."
Hmm.
That's a fact.
Being able to understand and experience them and understand whether you're what you're experiencing is definitely key.
And the key word to that is motions. It's gonna come, you're gonna go through it, and then you're gonna move past it.
Mhm.
Yep.
So with that said, I'm gonna leave you guys. I want everybody to say, their final words. You know the drill. Arlo, I'm gonna start with you.
Damn, we leaving early? God damn, son. Oh,
I was
I
having
want to
fun.
continue. Nah,
So we got
continue.
another segment next week. Keeping it juicy. What's your last words for us?
My last words will be, yo, wash your face, drink water. I mean, yo, top five Dead or Alive Ecstasy Camp, this effing podcast, this effing network. Shout out to the Left Podcast. Shout out to Affinity Black Network. And we here, man.
Michelle. Yeah.
Get back to me.
Arlo, any last words? I think he froze.
Oh,
No,
those
he
right there. I
didn't.
see
He
him.
just
This nigga
blinked.
skin is glowing like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
He's
that light
drinking
is
a lot of
staying.
water.
A lot of water, bro.
That's right.
He washed his face.
Nigga wash his face every day. You see how clear that skin is? God damn.
What about you, Mario? What about you?
Last words. I would like to say, even a broke clock is right twice a day.
That's right.
Yo,
That's
give
right.
him an air horn. We gotta give him an air horn, man. That shit was fired.
You know, you might
Nugget,
not, you might not
nugget,
get it the first time, but the second time around, you're definitely gonna get right.
good nugget. What about you, Simon?
I mean, I just want to, tell people to love yourself. You know what I mean? Love yourself as much as you can, because there's nobody out there that's gonna love you like you love you. And
Mm.
and everybody here is invited to my birthday party, July 15th. Go to my go to if you follow me on Instagram, my link is in the bio. It's an open bar for 2 hours and free food. So
Good, good, good.
Oh no, let's not forget, man. Big up. Speaking of food, big ups to Michelle for her dining. If you're in Houston, make sure you hit up delicious underscore cuisine by Michelle. Make sure you eat right, man. Eat some enchiladas, even though she don't like making enchiladas like that. Enchiladas, fried chicken, salad, all that shit. She gonna make sure she hooks you up, man. For real. And
Thank
horn for that.
you.
Good stuff, good stuff. Michelle, any last
Okay.
words? Yo, Arla, you gonna grace us?
Yeah, Arlo. Say something, baby.
Yeah, talk to us. What's your last
Hey.
I think he said drink water.
Drink water.
Yeah, straight up, drink water.
word? That was good. That's very important.
Hmm.
Go ahead,
All
Michelle.
right. So I was reading this book and it basically said, going back to our topic about Sigmund Freud, the psychologist, right? How we started off this conversation. It says almost all these wants are usually gratified, all except one. But there is one longing almost as deep, almost as imperious as the desire for food and sleep, which is seldom gratified. It is what Freud calls the desire to be great. It is what Dewey calls the desire to be important. So I feel that everyone needs to be felt like appreciated, considered, and respected. And no relationship, whether it's a friendship, a love interest, or even a work environment, it won't work out if you don't have those things.
Wow.
That was
Mm.
great.
Very.
So for
Mm.
me, the last thing I have to say is when a man can listen to a woman's feelings without getting angry and frustrated, he gives her an incredible gift. He makes it safe for her to express herself. The more she is able to express herself, the more she feels heard and understood. And the more she is able to give a man the love and trust, acceptance, appreciation, admiration, approval, and encouragement that he needs. So if y'all give her all of that, she's gonna give y'all everything y'all need.
Yeah, so that will be, look, that will go back to the benefit.
Wait, y'all had quotes and we ain't had none? God damn. What the fuck?
Right? Like y'all really came prepared. I came with the
What the fuck?
love
I had
yourself.
more wealth, more help, more cash, more ass, but y'all live forever and I never died.
No cash for it.
All right, now continue. What you
Well,
were saying,
thanks.
Michelle?
I said they will go back to piggyback to our conversation about how do men benefit from women. That's how you benefit. You provide that and you benefit.
All right, we done talking.
Stay positive, practice gratitude, take care of your physical health, develop a sense of meaning and purpose in life.
Big ups to Evelyn TV, man, all the way from Houston, man. That's a fact.
Yes.
She always been holding it down in the community to be able to capture the most important moments in the Garifuna community. So big ups to her, man. Round of applause because she's been doing a great job.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So we're gonna leave it like that tonight, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Take
I will
care.
definitely be a part. Yes, sir.
Subscribe to the Left Podcast. Subscribe to the Left Podcast.
To the Left
Please,
FM Podcast.
subscribe to the Left Podcast. Okay, follow them. I think they're on every Thursday
night.
Yes, sir.
Thursday night. What time, guys? Like
8:30.
Yo, y'all was on midnight the other night, nigga. I was like, damn, man, I gotta work early and shit.
I got out of work late. I got out of work late, but because of that, we decided to go on because so far we have a streak. We've been on every Thursday for 2 months straight.
Yeah.
So we trying to make sure we keep up to that streak. So it's gonna be on Thursday. If it's not at 8:30, it's gonna be one of those times after 8:30. Just look out.
And subscribe on YouTube to the Left
Absolutely
Podcast.
subscribe on YouTube.
And thank you to the FN Podcast for coming through.
Yes, sir.
When is your show on? Sunday?
We're on every Tuesday. Well, we record on Sundays and then we release it on Tuesdays. And then we have like we said, we have an FN network where me and Simon produce podcasts. So we have a Playoff Mode podcast, which is a sports podcast, and then we have the Ricky Mapes podcast, which is called Have a Nice Day.
Have a good one with Ricky Mapes.
Have a good one with Ricky. Yeah. See, I'm fucking up. But we if anybody needs a podcast, somebody to record a podcast or produce it, you can reach out to this FM podcast right there on the screen, and we'll make sure that we will give you the best quality for your podcast. So
that's dope.
Nice. And do not forget to follow
Delicious Cuisine by Michelle, even though she don't make.
Because if I made it, it's good. Trust
she don't
me.
make enchiladas.
I make them. I don't eat them. I make them. I don't eat them. Yeah.
So
I know how to make just about anything.
As long as it's ground turkey, though, no beef though. I don't eat beef.
I got you this weekend when I'm in New York.
Oh, you gonna be out here this weekend?
Yes.
Yo, Simon, we out.
Bye, guys.
Marlo, you too, nigga. We out too, nigga.
Bye, guys.
Mario,
Thank you.